Yes, here we are, shooting the Shibby 2019 episode 44.
Yay.
Happy goddamn New Year, everybody.
We're live again.
We already had our New Year's.
We are having. Well, this is the actual New Year. We had our New Year's Eve. This is New Year's Day.
First episode of 2019. Damn
First episode of 2019. Why got shit on this?
First.
Have fun with things.
I do have fun with things.
God damn it.
I didn't say it wasn't fun.
So we did make a resolution. I don't know if you remember.
Resolution?
What did I say? we French Revolutioned. No, but keep throwing poop on your government buildings, France. We did make a resolution. Now you got me. Whatever.
You're right. Resolution.
You said resolutioned.
No, fuck you. See, I thought I'm like speaking in 1080p because I said resolution now. No, but I was listening to our best of just because I listened to everything that we put out. Yep. I just love to hear. Actually, I really hate my own voice.
To be fair, I listened to our most recent episodes as well.
I really just hate my own. I don't know why I can't stand my voice and my laugh. I don't know how you guys put up with me, but I appreciate it. But either way,
sorry, I'm this close to leaving like every day.
Leaving your own
the podcast or
like,
leaving this bar to go over there and play Spyro instead.
I'm about to say, you got some stuff you need to talk about, Brian? Because like we're all ears. It's all good. But yeah, you were supposed to. We were supposed to bring back the Spencer guesses what sports play is.
That was a resolution.
That was a resolution.
Wow, that was a shitty one.
Well, it was a pretty easy one.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. No, we said it in our in-between thing, which, by the way, really nicely done. I like how you put the DJ Quaz music when we were, like, in normal time.
Thank you. I do wish we were louder on mic, though.
Oh, yeah. We shouldn't have been so impromptu and just huddled half-drunkenly around the Yeti mic and I just sat down. We probably also should have watched each bit before we went into it. But there's always next year, right?
I was sitting there saying we should.
And then Brian was over there all like, what?
To be fair, you were trying to figure out Twitch the entire time.
I had ulterior motives, yes.
Meanwhile, I'm over here like, hey guys, we should probably do the podcast. You're like, I want to stream.
Well, I mean,
I'm not on Twitch right now.
I need to stream.
Apparently the podcast is a video game. Did you forget to change the thing?
No, I did.
You did?
No, I changed it.
Christy, fake news. Speaking of fake news, our government's shut down.
That's not fake news. That's an actual thing.
Oh yeah!
What a great transition.
I've seen a lot of fake news spread
around.
Looking
at it right now. It says talk shows and podcasts. Shooting the Shibby episode 44. It might just not have loaded on her side yet.
Indeed, or maybe she
refresh your stream if it says we're playing Dragon Ball Z Fighters.
Yes, an extra
refresh. We're not. Bob, can you turn us down a little bit? I feel like we're a little loud.
But I've been seeing a lot of I can't tell like what has actually happened so far with the shutdown. So our parks got dirty. What else has actually happened? Is this proving we don't need the government? Libertarian levels intensify.
Oh,
Brian's nipples are getting harder by the second.
So non-essential workers aren't working right now. Essential workers are working, but they're not getting paid right now. But they're going to get back paid later. But that could take some time. Also, if this continues, our tax returns are going to take much longer to get back to us, but us sending them money for our taxes will go as quickly as planned because government.
I know this question always comes up whenever anything controversial happens, but I genuinely wonder what the Founding Fathers would think of this situation.
Probably wondering why we haven't revolted and thrown tea off boats yet.
I mean, dude, look at France. Look at France. I just like...
Now or earlier?
Yes.
Anarchy.
Well, France has been terrible.
Two very different countries now.
France has been terrible at fighting wars. However, fighting themselves, fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah, they don't give up.
No, not at all. Hats off to them.
That's why I like it was like France when fighting other people, and it was the scared hamster, and it was like France when fighting itself, and it's Jerry from Tom and Jerry when he's buff.
No big chungus.
Accurate.
How did that become a meme, by the way?
Because somebody was like, this is kind of funny, and then r/dank memes was just like, ha ha ha, Big Chungus, ha ha. And just, no, it wasn't funny. It was never funny.
Rob, have you seen Big Chungus?
I have.
It's
overweight,
Bugs Bunny,
so
but fat. It's stupid.
It was
one of those forced memes that are just not funny.
I don't know what memes are enforced nowadays, though, because I try to figure out what's going to be funny on the internet or what's going to be popular on the internet.
A new thing was lemon cars. What they were trying to push, but it lasted 2 days, and everyone's like, "This is stupid. Stop."
Lemon cars?
Yeah, it was a lemon with wheels on it, and it's called lemon car.
Well, I mean, the old trope is like a shitty car sold to you is a lemon. Like that's something that's said. But what was the premise of lemon car? I don't.
Lemon car. That's it. You're thinking too much into memes. You're now a normie.
Oh no! I'm a filthy casual. Oh dear God! Internet, take me back. Christy says it's working now. Thanks, Christy.
I know I updated it. I didn't do an oopsie.
Oh, I was just making sure.
We're not playing Dragon Ball Fighters.
So, Bob, since you were too lame to come to our New Year's, what'd you end up doing?
I wound up going over to a buddy of mine's house. Wound up playing Nintendo Switch most of the night. Switched over to some card games.
We surprisingly didn't play that many video games this year.
We didn't play any video games.
We didn't play any.
Really?
We didn't even play Fibbage.
No, we didn't.
Oh, I'm disappointed now.
What did we do?
That's how I felt afterwards. Like I woke up the next day. I'm like, what do we even do?
Because it's not even like we were blitzed beyond memory. It was just like my mom. I was talking to my mom, my brother is like, so what'd you do for New Year's? I was like,
I don't know.
We didn't do anything.
We existed.
It was great. I mean, I missed the ball dropping because, like, I'm too busy. I play Old Lang Syne on my trumpet. I'm too busy holding my phone, like, trying to time, like, okay, I'm going to start the stream. I'm going to start it at 5, 4. Too early fucking a minute.
We literally just all sat around and just talked. That was pretty much it.
Just had a little powwow. It was a good time.
It was a much more tame New Year's compared to other years.
You mean the years where we were slapping each other with paddles?
You know, yesteryears.
I will still never forget that moment. Walking downstairs to your basement, and we see 3 people spanking each other with paddles.
Oh, that was magical.
And I was I was so confused. I'm just like, well,
my favorite was Bob and I upstairs. Bob was trying to tell me a heartfelt story, and I told him to hold on. I have to go pee, and then I went to bed.
Oh my God!
But I was literally standing in his kitchen, just like, oh, Brian will be back any minute now.
Nope. I walked right past the bathroom. I walked right past the bathroom and went right to bed.
You fucking wondered why he didn't come to our New Year's party. But no, my favorite. It wasn't just the fact that it just wasn't the fact that the paddle's not over here.
It's behind the fridge.
Oh, is it? I'll show it in a second. But. It wasn't even the fact that we were just paddling each other just for fun. We were like doing Irish car bombs and paddling each other. But upstairs, there was like a nice, calm, collected, like little friends hanging out, playing a few board games.
So what I would perfectly describe it as, like, imagine there's like 2 fraternities. There's the fraternity where they're like, the squash club yesterday was great, and we did stuff and whatever, and like, let's go see what Animal House is doing. And they're and it's just like loud ass music, and people chugging beers, slapping each other, and it's like,
Well,
I love that thing.
I must say, A, not only is the paddle beautiful, but B, all the little rhinestones and stuff, like everything held up. This is quality craftsmanship.
I love that thing. Shout out to Haley.
Yeah,
let's talk sometime.
Paint's barely scratched. Yeah, she's like all successful in New York and stuff. We're just hanging out in your basement. Good for her.
She has her. Yeah, it's her and her boyfriend. They do stuff in New York now. She doesn't have pink hair anymore, which I'm really upset about. But it's her choice.
I think the best way to describe the difference between the upstairs party and the downstairs party is the GIF from Community, where the guy walks into the dorm room and everything's on fire, and he's just his eyes are wide open holding pizza. That was exactly my experience walking down into your basement.
See, because I also we describe the upstairs and downstairs as like fun and fancy. So, like, upstairs is fancy, where everything's supposed to be, like, nice and whatever, and you come down here and it's supposed to be, like, the rave or whatever.
It was great.
That sounds about right.
It's not we worded, but that's just quick terms.
Looks like you got a comment.
Yeah. That's my mother. She says her and Meg are listening.
Oh.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Brian's mom.
I'm wearing a blanket because I feel like it.
Hey, how's Megan feeling?
How is Megan feeling? Megan felt bad?
She got surgery.
Oh, yeah, she had surgery. We were talking about that a few weeks ago.
Oh, wow, yeah. How are you feeling?
Way to go, Spence.
I was like, how do I play this one off? Just eat it.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Quick, play me off, Bob. Dun, 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 dun.
All right, well, it's been a great, fun podcast. Great way to start off the year.
You're
See you
still
next time.
drinking that crappy ginger ale?
Yeah, well, it's there. It's just like how we were drinking that crappy beer for like 3 episodes.
Yeah.
So speaking of crappy,
Plus, it's soda. It's not alcohol.
that makes it
Remember,
even
I'm the only
crappier.
one that doesn't go home or that goes home after this.
Bob doesn't go home.
Bob doesn't have a home. Bob lives wherever Bob
Cheers.
chooses.
I got beer.
Hernia is better.
Hernia is better. I know.
I got wine. But yes, the hernia. But woo, everything went
Yay.
well. See, there's my redemption. Yay.
Did you say your hernia
So-
went better?
What?
Did you say your hernia went better?
No. I didn't. So speaking of things that are awful, I noticed with TikTok. Everyone. I guess most people know the app nowadays, TikTok, which has pretty much replaced Vine. It's more musically oriented and whatnot.
It's Musically, but then they bought out Musically and changed the name.
Yeah, but it's not even. It's Musically was like you had to have a song in the background, or you had to upload what was supposed to be a song, but even though you could just upload your own voice and voice over yourself. Where this app seems to, you can do whatever you want with emphasis on music. But like,
I think Vine was too far ahead of its time.
I don't know why it ever died. It was
We didn't
still,
deserve Vine.
people still loved Vine when it went away. I don't know what the hell. Obviously,
Money.
the numbers
Because
didn't.
corporations don't understand how they bought these apps thinking they would make them bajillions of dollars, put all this money into it, realized it wasn't really making that much money, and then they were like, fuck it, let's just take it down.
Yeah, it's like people put stuff up on the internet because they enjoy themselves, knowing it probably won't make them any money.
Like I think
Shootin' Shibby?
Amazon bought Twitch.
Twitch.tv/Shibby_Shack.
Amazon bought out Twitch, and they realized how much money they're losing owning Twitch. Because
Really?
they paid way too much money for it.
Why would they? Why are they? What is there to pay besides server? I don't understand how this shit works.
No, because they because
hosting
if I have this thing of beer and you buy it for $1,000, you're gonna realize it's not actually worth $1,000,
Yeah, it's
and then you're
Yingling.
losing money.
It's Yingling. Sponsor us. Yeah, it's only Yingling.
I understand, but that's what I'm saying. So they bought Twitch for whatever amount of money, and then realized they weren't going to make that money back that quickly, and they lost money.
It seems like anything on the internet is almost like the stock market, where you have to.
It's like when Google bought YouTube.
They lost money on YouTube. So that's why
When they
the ad-
originally bought it, they lost a lot of money on YouTube.
So
and
that's
then
why
tried to change it.
that's why they pander to all the ad companies and whatnot.
Yeah. That's exactly why they did.
See, but what I'll give Amazon over YouTube is YouTube or Google just destroyed YouTube. Not destroyed, but they took something that was great and just muddied it up to something that's now okay. Where Twitch, you're more of a Twitch veteran than me. I love the layout of Twitch. I don't feel like, obviously, like Twitch Prime is part of Amazon Prime and whatnot. If you subscribe to us, you'll know that. But it doesn't. Nothing seems pushed. Nothing seems Amazon pushed. It doesn't. Twitch still feels like a platform built for the people performing per se, unlike YouTube, where it's now pandering to the ad companies. There are certain Twitch streamers like Ninja, like the big ones, that have opted to go with a more family-friendly route just because they don't want to miss out on a certain demographic, and they realize what they're. Every now and again, there's a few mishaps.
It's the new meme right now that that Ninja's like, I want to be more family friendly, and then people upload his clip. The fuck did you say to me?
And I didn't realize how recent that was too.
Yeah.
I thought that was like maybe his early days of streaming. I wonder if he's getting burned. I mean, last year we saw
He's getting too big for his britches.
I think he's just getting burnt out, dude. He does 12 hours a day.
I'm
I'm not kidding.
So,
The guy
so great. He
sits
did.
down.
He did New Year's. He did a New Year's stream on Twitch in New York City, and
Right.
he tried to get everyone, like the million people in New York City that he had, to do floss dance. And he's like, "Yeah, guys, we're all gonna do it. 3, 2, 1. Everyone floss," and no one did it. And he's like, "Come on, you're not moving,
that's
guys!"
so
and
awkward. I
no
love it.
one's moving. But
I
like
love
3
it.
kids,
Oh
maybe.
no, Ninja, no.
It was brutal.
I live for awkward moments like that.
You know what I give this
it
man
was so
though?
bad.
You know what I give Ninja? Like, he rolls with just about everything. He hasn't a PewDiePie level of rolling. PewDiePie not only rolls with jokes but throws them back at people. Where Ninja will just roll with things, and he'll actually turn things around. So there's a clip uploaded of Ninja, the biggest. I guess I don't know if we really went over. Ninja's the biggest streamer on Twitch.tv. He streams a lot of Fortnite, therefore he attracts a younger crowd who likes Fortnite.
He's the biggest streamer because he streams Fortnite.
That's not. I wouldn't say because there are plenty of streamers that stream Fortnite.
Well, no, but he did it because then he did streams with like Drake and other rappers.
Oh,
and
sure,
got a lot of publicity.
Oh, sure.
On
No,
him,
he played it properly, but he also, I kind of see him like the Green Day of streaming. Like, they got into their music in the 90s poppy punk sort of place, but they were always in music to be popular. They always wanted to stay popular, and they molded with the music format as it progressed itself. I think that's partially why they are who they are today. You know, they changed. I wasn't a fan of the changes personally, but clearly it worked out for them because
Green Day changed like 4 times throughout their careers too. Like, I remember when people thought Dookie was selling out.
Well, every band goes through those kind of changes.
I know, but I'm just saying it's funny because a lot of bands like
Radiohead.
I'm saying is bands will go through like that one big change and like that's where they completely change. But Green Day did it like 4 times.
They went from their
like
original
I'm saying, like
to,
there
like,
was the original sound,
days.
and then they did like the Dookie sound,
right?
And then they did the Warning sound, and then they did American Idiot.
But it's
that was like the final like big change for Green Day.
And they had the Broadway play.
I'm about to say that's the big one, right?
But they didn't do that.
They have a motherfucking rock opera.
Well, that was somebody else did that. They didn't actually like do a rock opera.
Yeah, but Billy Joe actually played Saint Jimmy.
And also credit where it's due.
But he wasn't the one singing throughout the entire thing. It was other people.
No, but he was Saint Jimmy in the play.
No, I understand that. But like the main people who were singing weren't Billy Joe.
No, it wasn't Green Day, but Billy Joe was a main character on the show.
Credit where it's due also. Whatever, obviously this producer...
One hell of a show, too, by the way.
Oh, you saw it?
I didn't. I wanted to see it on Broadway.
Soundtrack.
I saw the other show. The soundtrack is amazing, too.
Their version of Last Day on Earth is absolute perfection.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give but if you just think about it, clearly there was there was a Broadway producer out there that wanted to create a rock opera, and they chose Green Day. I mean, let's face it, they had a countless amount of different bands they could have chosen from, and they still went with Green Day.
Because Green Day, I feel like it fits so well.
Oh, it does.
A mix of American Idiot and 21 Guns.
American Idiot is a rock opera in and of itself, and they just made the play on the album.
I love that album.
It was American Idiot and
one of my all-time favorite albums.
21st Century Breakdown.
I went through a phase where I loved that album, and I felt like it was all about me until I realized that everyone loved that album and thought it was all about them. Mm-hmm. And that's when I started my existential crisis of who am I?
A mainstream person anymore.
You know, it wasn't even like that, man.
It's because I mean, like there was other songs that were like Jesus of Suburbia, but like at the time, it was
love that song.
Like,
yeah, me too.
But like that, no, it's a fantastic song, and like I'm sure, yes, you could say like there's been other songs that did it before them, but nobody ever like popularized a song like Jesus of Suburbia that I feel like
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, I'm saying yeah, okay. That's fair.
And actually,
I couldn't think of one. I couldn't think of one at the spot, but
in your defense,
or
Bohemian Rhapsody was not popular.
For today's day and age, like at the time when like this wasn't like looking back a song like that. It was like when that song came out, it was huge.
Yeah,
you can look back and say Bohemian Rhapsody was it's a fantastic song, yada yada yada. But like even like you said, it wasn't popular when it came out. When Jesus of Suburbia came out, that was a smash hit instantly.
I think one major part that played into that too is the fact that it was on CD, and so it was. I mean, I guess iPods were out at this, MP3 players were out, but CD was still the mainstream platform. So when you listen to that song, you listen to it in its entirety. Because yes, there were CD players where you can skip over, but you had to press and hold a button, wait for it to happen, make sure you don't overshoot it. It was cumbersome to try and choose a point in that song to listen to, so you would listen to the entire song full. Mm-hmm. And I think that's probably what helped play into it.
Fun fact, Dane Cook got really popular because of iTunes.
Remember when he was funny? I didn't want to be one of the people.
Middle school.
He was someone who used adapting to new technology perfectly.
Oh, sure.
It was when iTunes was starting to show off, like, comedy specials can be on iTunes. You could buy them.
Right.
And he specifically made stuff just for that, and people like that was like one of the big things. People could be like, I can buy this on iTunes.
Right.
That's how he like adapted to it, used it perfectly, and
99 cents a song. Yes.
People kind of picked up on he's really
not only that. I just
funny.
I see him. It's almost like vintage meme culture, like Rage comics, demotivational posters, the animal memes, like awkward or whatever frog, like where it was just like, out of toilet paper, better take shower. Like
I think it was like Frat Boy Frog or something like that.
Something like it was, but Those were roll on the floor laughing before Raffle was a thing. They were
I remember actually pissing my pants to Velociraptor memes.
Oh, absolutely. And then, but that's what Dane Cook was. And then I went back and listened to him. I was just like, this used to be groundbreaking.
What happened? 8 Crazy Nights. As a kid, I thought that was the funniest thing in the world, and I watched it again as an adult, and I'm like, wow, it's just absolute garbage.
It's a misuse of talent. It's just an absolute misuse of talent.
Fantastic animation, pretty good voice acting, and then
shit tier story.
Ooh, jokes, story.
Deer eat poop.
Adam Sandler.
The tactical friend.
Funny old man and deer eat poop.
Oh, the animation though.
It is good.
It's phenomenal. And I didn't even did all those? I guess obviously all those companies paid money to be in the product placement, especially towards the one musical number where they're in the mall and they're Foot Locker guys singing.
Yeah, it's funny because I originally didn't see that as a product placement when I was
neither.
younger. I was just
me neither.
Oh, because they're in a mall and these are the things that are in the mall, and then you look back later, you're like, wow, that's a lot of product placement that I didn't realize.
But it was just when FL Seal, when I first saw that anime back when I was 13, I heard all the product placement they had. They mentioned Coca-Cola or something. I forgot. They mentioned a bunch of big name brands, and I didn't see that as product placement. I saw it as wow, they're actually not beating around the bush. They're actually saying the things that exist. That's what I saw with 8 Crazy Nights.
Yeah, it wasn't pandering a product placement where for some shows like
in Monkey Ball where
say they're holding everywhere. A Coke and they're like, what are you talking about with whatever thing that is going on? And they're holding a Coke, shoving it in the camera
and the Coke
the
bottle.
thing that the Panda Express or the Foot Locker, the Foot Locker guy was actually he sang a song. He had a whole bit where he was trying to talk to Davey about, don't be an asshole as a person.
And I guess we're all kind of spoiled in the fact that we live around malls. So if we walk through the mall, we saw
we saw the Panda Express, we saw the Foot Locker,
exactly.
We saw
to us that was just wow.
Yeah, Jersey is known for malls.
Precisely. I just kind of forget sometimes that there are places that don't have malls.
Spencer's Gifts.
Get on our consumerism level. Yes, my gifts. That joke never gets old. Yes, I've showed cashiers my license. Didn't help for a discount, though.
I own the store, and they're like,
I'm the namesake.
You're the fourth Spencer to come in here and make this joke. Get out.
Please show me where the 4 are. I've only met 3 in my entire life. Other Spencers, I know you're out there.
Yeah, the first name's usually Richard.
Or a lot of it was just the...
Are you trying to say that we're all dicks?
Yeah. Former running back for the Kansas City Chiefs, Spencer Ware. He's not the Spencer.
Spencer Ware.
You suck, by the way, Spencer Ware. Fix your hamstring, you dick.
Fuck you, Brian. Spencer Ware.
Cost me a fantasy playoff.
You're the real MVP.
Even though I wouldn't have won, it's clearly Boomer.
I only like you because your name is Spencer. But I love you.
I had a Spencer.
Reach out to me. Live studio attendee had a Spencer. When did you have a kid?
I had a camper.
It's you. You are their child.
If only she didn't have a profession that involved children.
I'm sorry, just wrapping around the fact. I am the child of 2 people that are, 3 years younger
You're
than
not
me?
a child, you're an adult.
And you're
You're not my real dad! I'm not a cry.
It's not 2 a.m. yet.
I haven't had enough wine. Leave me alone.
He's not drunk and it's not 2 a.m. yet.
Next bit.
He's not going to get
give it a few minutes. He'll be Spencer Mental by the end of the podcast.
I want to do a podcast where we get deep into the night, where we call it
should we invite Bethany so we can get shit-faced with her again?
So I can get shit-faced with her again.
Another episode
we can all do it!
I was the only one that was that drunk, though.
Yeah, Bob was really drunk. You and I were too busy yelling at each other
while
Bethany kind of just sat there staring at us, and Bob was just like,
What episode number
21.
is that? 21? Oh, how could I be that? I'm listening to that one again.
21? You stupid.
Also, I'm not gonna lie. A little self pat for us. I was listening to our best of, and I was actually talking to a girl on Tinder, and I told her she's like, she loves podcasts. So I'm like, yeah, check us out. Check out the best of. I forgot how much we would talk over each other.
Yep.
It just sounded like a crowd.
Really? You're gonna tell him about talking over? I even made the joke while we were doing the recording bits. Yeah, we're recording and we can fix it, but we're gonna talk over Bob anyway.
Really? You forgot how much we would talk over each other? Really?
Actually,
explain to me how much did you talk over?
It wasn't so much talk over each other. It was talk over Bob.
No, you.
I bring it up all the time. I know that we talk over Bob. It happens.
And really, what changed?
This right here. You saw? I opened my mouth and I stopped when you kept talking. That's what changed. Fuck you.
You know, it was
Progress is a
normal flow episode 2, and Bob wasn't there, so we didn't have to hear Bob go, yeah, well, actually, perfect, episode 7 that we never aired.
That's how Bob became the producer.
Bob trying to talk. Bob trying to talk over Discord, but Spencer and I just kept talking to each other, and you weren't physically there to be like, for us to really hear you talk, so you're just like, I'm just going to sit here, and that's why we didn't air it, because it sounds like shit.
However, we were planning on doing a Mad Libs episode where you'd take my side of the audio, because a lot of the times I was reacting to what both of you were saying, and it was just a sentence.
From what I remember, that episode was basically me yelling at Spencer the entire time because I was pissed at him that day for some reason.
I don't know, but I have that effect on people, so that's totally understandable.
That entire episode, all I remember was I was angry at you for something, and I just kept shitting on you, even when like it wasn't like you set yourself up, and I'm like, haha, fuck you. I was looking for a reason to shit on you.
It was back in March, if that helps.
I fucking
I barely remember what I did.
When did
yesterday.
we start this podcast?
We started it the day of the Eagles-Vikings playoff game.
NFC Championship
that's
game.
my favorite day. The fuck day is that?
It was the
3 weeks from now.
Conference championship for the National League in football, which
Give me
usually
a
takes
goddamn
around
date.
January of last year? Late January of last year, I think.
So we're coming up on 1 year. We should look up.
But we don't have.
Well, we don't
52
have because we
episodes
didn't
yet.
fully.
We
post.
missed some weeks.
That's okay. Well, I mean, I'm just saying when we first started the podcast, I'm not saying that we need 52. I'm not talking about our 52nd. Hell, let's throw a party for both.
You know what? Let me look it up because I know the exact date we did because you and I went to that the motorsports show.
Yes, we did. We went to the motorsports show, and I was like, "Hey, Bob, Brian and I are starting a podcast. Can we use your stuff? Yeah, I guess you can hop on too." No, it's not actually how it
I
went.
think I remember actually talking to me that we were going to start me like, "You can get Bob," and I was like, "Please." Bob wants to do a podcast so bad.
I know, and I wanted,
his other one didn't work out.
I wanted a third person also, and it also helped to have a person with knowledge. So thank you, Bob. Thank you for being that person with knowledge. So I've seen another thing.
That's what I'm here for.
I've seen another thing go around the internet. There's always been some controversy with GameStop. There's never like anybody. I don't ever see anything shared about GameStop about their nice experience. It might be either being utterly butt raped in pricing when you try and return your games to get a few bucks for them. But this time around, there apparently was a trans
person who is going from male to female.
Thank you. I try not to. This is one of those things where I try not to beat around the.
There was a person who was at GameStop. They were transitioning from a male to a female, and they were trying to do whatever at GameStop. They didn't get to that point of the recording.
No,
but the person kept saying "sir" to the person when they were trying to calm them down or whatever they're trying to talk about, and the entire time, this woman was saying "it's ma'am." And the person was like, I understand that. Can you please calm down? They're like, I want to talk to corporate. And like, I get that. Let me get the number for corporate for you. And she started knocking stuff over. She's screaming, it's ma'am. And she like stormed out at one point, was about to leave the store, comes back in, and then screamed for the corporate number. And then someone said, sir, again. And she was like, it's ma'am.
No, she said, do I look like a man to
you? Or do I look like a man to you?
It was January 21st was our first ever recording date.
Oh, word. What day does that fall on this year? That I could look up. You don't got to do everything.
Tuesday.
Well, actually,
that's
that
when
makes
the
sense.
episode will come out.
No, actually, it's a Monday.
Really? Oh, yeah, we did start on Sundays.
Everywhere is I slowly turn to the camera and I just imagine like a sitcom opening.
I see a lot of these whole it's either trans people saying this and that or whatever. I guess I wonder what led up to that moment though, because that's the one thing that's missing from the story. Because I can't imagine being a person in that situation and having to deal with being ostracized every day, and like regardless of where you stand on the politics or on the
memes were great.
Oh, the memes were fantastic.
Like the best one was for Lord of the Rings spoilers, by the way. When there was one general
Snape
of like the evil
Dumbledore.
army, and he was just like, "No man can kill me." And the girl takes off her helmet, and he's like, "It's ma'am."
But like, I don't know, man. I just there's such a conversation that needs to be had, but everyone just keeps shit posting and making memes. And I come from a point.
Have you been on the internet?
Yes, but at what point can we just finally?
Never. The answer to your question is never.
But Brian,
you've been on 4chan.
I know. I'm not saying
the answer's never.
My point, what I was getting to, is I'm not trying to say that I was never the problem. I'm not trying to sound like I'm virtue signaling. I happily trolled. I used to be very political on Facebook.
See, here's how I see that. You're like the person from the Philly parade, like that woman who was like, "We're better than this. We're better. We can do better," and everyone else is just rioting. That's you right now. You're trying to tell the internet we can be better and have a conversation, and everyone's running around knocking off lampposts and eating shit. That is exactly what you're trying to do.
Oh my
right
god!
now.
And that one sign. I don't even follow football, but it's just someone put up one sign. It was like, "Chicago, stick to murders. We'll take care of football." And it was an Eagles fan.
There was a great video of someone who thought
terrible.
that the guy made the kick, and he started breaking his TV, and his friend goes, "No, he hit the upright. The Eagles won." And
Is
then
that
he
what that
looked
was
at
about?
his TV, and he was like, "Oh."
Is that what that about? Because I didn't turn on the audio or read the caption. I just saw the one dude. He like drop kicked his TV. Right?
He kneed his TV through the middle and then threw it on the ground. And then his friend told him that it might have been fake.
It was probably fake. They half the shit you see.
I'm enjoying it anyway. The other TV was there
You're
was
not
two
allowed
TVs.
to enjoy fake things. Did anybody want any more of this?
No, you're good.
All right, cool.
You can enjoy the fake cupcake wine.
That's how you know it's a good wine. See, it makes that noise.
It helps if you call it a bad bottle.
Who's your bad bottle? Oh yeah.
I was gonna suggest hit it with the paddle, but I also don't want the glass to break all over my.
I guess for for the record, why that's funny. I forgot how much we've told the story, but either way, back when I used to work at a liquor store, I would test wine by smacking the back of the bottle. Which, if you've never seen it, the back of the bottle is rather concave. I don't know if it's for aeration reasons or if it's so that they can make the bottle bigger and make it look like there's more wine in it. But either way, the more of a sound it had to it, like the better I would rate the wine. And I had people come back to me, so I kept doing it.
Snobs are the biggest idiots.
Oh, I have.
Oh my god.
I'm just, and at that point in time too, I just did not like wine. There's not a single wine. I thought it all tastes like rotten grapes, and I guess it still kind of is, but I just didn't have a palate for it at all.
I still don't. I like some wines I do enjoy, but overall, I usually don't reach for a wine.
I get a very weird drunk on wine.
I get super giggly. Like, even more giggly than I normally get when I'm
There's,
drunk.
there's different kinds of alcohol drunk. Like, there's beer drunk, there's whiskey drunk, there's tequila drunk, there's wine drunk.
Wine drunk is my favorite kind of drunk.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Things get scary when I'm wine
I pay
drunk.
for it the next day, but I enjoy it.
Well, see, I go full Enron. Like, things are great and crash. And I don't mean crash in like I die, like crash as in like. I don't know. I just remember the first time I really got drunk off wine. I went to Loretta Winery. Take two. Loretta.
Spencer got drunk on wine. His parents got divorced.
That's not true. I got nothing for that. I played.
Divorced.
Yes. Live studio attendee. My parents got deported. I actually live all alone.
Spencer's
in a
actually an
box.
illegal American immigrant.
Everything I've shared about the new place I have in there is all a lie. It's all been a. Is it ruse? Is it
Ruse.
Ruse.
See Trump, I got him. Take him away.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Speaking of TikTok cancer.
I was about to make a reference to something that's very inappropriate.
Well, it's funny you bring up working at that liquor store because I had a slightly similar experience with it's him. This little girl and her father come into my line when I'm working as a cashier.
Bob and I worked at the same liquor store.
Yes.
There we go. Let's just put that one out there.
You could say the name. You're not working there anymore.
No, I don't really want to. So we go to the liquor store, and the guy comes in my line, and the little girl, as they're walking away, was that a boy or a girl?
To you?
To her father about me. And I'm just like, well,
in her defense, these are progressive times, and you can't make assumptions because the last thing we need is you screaming at that little girl and how you're ma'am.
It's ma'am.
Well, my hair was also really long at that time.
You were never that long though.
Yeah, you were.
It was never that long, but it was always like frizzy and poofy. And
that girl, that little girl, definitely like first realized that some people she first learned that some people don't know what they are, and decided to use it on you because you are the
I don't know,
furthest like one of the furthest people I know. It's like there's some people in the world I'm like, yeah, it's a little hard to decide sometimes.
That's a great defense,
but you are like I can't even fathom one person thinking you were a female.
That's a great defense for her, but like
with my hair short like this, yeah, but
no, even when it was longer. No, when it was longer, no, not at all.
Yeah, dude,
not at all.
I mean, I had hair to my shoulders at one point. That's when some people call me she when they saw me from behind. I guess
she screams in silence.
I got a nice butt, I guess. I don't know, but
he doesn't. He doesn't, by the way. Just letting it run now.
I don't care if it's a pancake booty. I'll rock it. Throw some blueberries and shit on it. It'll delicious.
That'll look weird. It'll look bumpy and weird. You're gross. You're weird. You're a weird guy.
Just imagine hemorrhoids.
My hemorrhoids are sexy, thank you.
Accept me for who I am.
Find hemorrhoids sexy. I don't like this weird agenda society has against my hemorrhoids.
What would my flag be? It's just like a butt just with lumps. A bump.
Lumps. Not even a
blueberry
butt,
pancakes.
I like it. Blueberry. You know what?
And a starfish in the middle.
Cut out the middleman. My flag is blue waffle.
Do not Google that. Anyone in the world, do not Google blue waffle.
They're delicious.
No, do not do it.
It's up to you.
Don't do it. Don't do it. You're going to regret it.
Is it fake or is it real?
I don't care.
it's fake.
Don't do it.
You think so?
Don't do it. This is the warning.
Because it's funny.
Shoot the Shibby does not condone what happens if you Google blue waffle. Do not do it.
Spencer does do it. So, do it.
Direct all hate mail to @amateur_everything, but the everything has a 3.
Yeah. Somewhere is one of the E's. I don't know which one.
Look until you can find someone with a dumb-looking face and a yellow background.
Fuck you. You helped me think of the name.
Or just go to
that.
Yeah, I did. I didn't tell you to put the 3 in it.
Or just go to Shibby Shack Official on Instagram and look for Spencer's
No, I did, and then
there.
you used the 3 at the wrong E.
What other E would I put? 3?
The second E.
Amateur. No, it's dumb looking.
Ev 3 thing was what I want you to do.
I like the way the name looks. The 3 sits right in the center.
I liked it when it was
Amateur
the second E,
3
so it's
thing.
every amateur Ev 3 thing. Like it would flow better like that instead of like.
No, well, it's just like if you
3
read someone's
thing.
name with a 3 or an 8, you don't read it as
Spencer's apparently elite as fuck, guys.
Damn Skippy.
He uses 7 instead of L's. He uses 4s instead of A's.
No, actually, I use the A's.
So, going back to public freakouts, have you guys ever witnessed one in person?
Yes.
Like something that you wish you should have filmed beforehand?
Yes. Yes.
You can go first because I know I have.
I don't know if I told the story on the podcast.
The gerbil
Just
wheel
say it again. It's been 44 episodes.
The gerbil wheel spinning in my head, so I know there's something in there.
Actually, no. This one I didn't on the podcast. This one happened somewhat recently. So by my work, there was a new Burger King that opened like across the street from McDonald's because of course they do. And the lady goes in. It's like one of the first days this Burger King is open, and the lady starts complaining to the guy that the cookies were a little too hard.
Who the fuck goes to Burger King for cookies?
My point exactly. So the lady starts going to the guy, and she's like, this cookie wasn't very good. And the guy's like, listen, I've been a chef for Burger King for 25 years. They're not ooey gooey. Like,
they're not ooey gooey.
He's like, that. If you want ooey gooey cookies, you want to go somewhere else.
They're rocky cocky.
These were made this morning at 5 o'clock. Like, I made these cookies. And blah, 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 blah. And he's like, they're not that hard. They're pretty good. He's like, for Burger King, they're pretty good or whatever. Wow. And this lady is just going at this guy for these cookies that she got. And she kept them, too. She didn't give them back. Like, she kept the cookies. She took one bite and just complained, but still kept them.
Well, yeah, she already paid for them.
Don't. You're at Burger King. Why are you mad about cookies?
Because at what point do we draw the line where a company is liable for their food? Like, yes, there's a certain understanding to fast food and that it might be a little bit shittier, but why should we settle for the fact that fast food has gotten more expensive? I don't know if you realize that.
Their cookies are $1 for 2.
Really? Isn't McDonald's like $1 for 3?
Well,
I actually love McDonald's cookies too.
But just, it's $1 for 2 cookies.
But I sort of get it. Like, I had one friend who
but just you're gonna complain to the workers for this? Like, they're just trying to get through their day.
No, that I completely respect. Don't ever bite the head off the messenger. But I had one friend. So like in the Mark IV generation of Volkswagens, they're known for their small cup holders. They can't fit our big American drinks. And so I had one friend that would order a biggie, fucky, whatever, and then ask for a medium-sized soda. Like order, like by all means, charge me for everything, but just give me a medium-sized cup so it'll fit my small little wee European cup holders. And he would just go off on the fact that they couldn't get that. And I'm like, friend, it's fast food. You're supposed to just make the order, not make it complicated. So I guess I just contradicted everything I just said.
That's why I just get a bottle of water.
It's just
that's healthier for you too. Good for you.
You're going to you're on a McDonald's or Burger King. Like you know what you're getting into.
I had Taco Bell today. It was magical. I think I've gotten to the point where I eat fast food enough where I don't just defecate every time I eat it. It's probably bad. It's almost like alcohol tolerance, you know? Like you get to a point where
your body's like, whatever, just bring it in.
Well, dude, that one night we were that one night that we went out to get dinner and whatnot, and we had a few beers at the what was it called? The Liberty.
Our editing party.
Yes, at our editing party, and we came back and we kept drinking, and I sobered up as we kept drinking. I'm like, that should say something.
All right, friend of ours who drinks more and gets sober the more he drinks.
No, but it wasn't a.
Bob knows what I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about too. I'm not getting to that. I'm saying the fact that I was actually like losing my buzz as we drank. Given we didn't drink as aggressively back at your place, but it was okay. We got the live studio attendee wasted. That was fantastic.
She did get wasted.
So
I know it was great. I kept topping off your beer.
So what happened? What was the resolution of said argument?
She took the cookies and left, but the entire time she's just screaming at this guy. And then the best part was she gets on the phone while talking to this guy, and she goes, and she's like proudly talking to her friend. Yeah, I'm complaining to the Burger King people about their shitty cookies. I'm like, is that something you really want to boast about? You want to boast that you're at Burger King complaining to them about their cookies? Like, you should feel like I feel like once you say that to somebody, you should have a moment and realize
you need a moment of clarity.
I'd be curious.
I'm talking to someone about how I'm bitching at Burger King for their cookies. What am I doing with my day?
I'd be curious to see what her friend said. Like, is her friend the same kind of toxic person that was just like, "You go, girl"?
I had a situation like that. I don't know if I told you guys the story. I don't know if I told in the podcast that I went to a pizza joint.
Oh yes,
and
I remember this.
I went to a pizza joint, and
like most
at the pizza joint, there's like a small driveway that only one car can go in and out of. And right next to the pizza joint, there's a post office. And somebody was going to the post office and parked partially.
Was this when you had to do the white boy shuffle?
No.
Away from the situation?
No, but I put my head down like, ooh, boy.
Oh, well, same story. I'm just exaggerating your reaction.
You're exaggerating, yeah.
Okay.
But the person parked halfway into the driveway, so a dick move, yes.
Sure.
So somebody was trying to leave the pizza place and couldn't leave because someone's car was half parked in front of the driveway. So she gets out and she's like, does anyone know whose car this is? And we were like, no, we don't know. And she's just like ranting about this person who parked there, and the guy comes back out and he holds his keys. He's like, oh, like, I'm sorry, whatever. And she's like, have you ever thought about someone else besides yourself today? And she's giving him shit, and I'm like, yeah, he fucked up.
You get a little intense, but I understand. Maybe you're also having a bad day. Whatever.
No, it's like, I get it. It's a dick move. Like, come on, you should know. And then like the people behind me are like, yeah, you tell him, girlfriend, or whatever.
Geez.
And I'm like, I'm on her side at this point. I'm like, yeah, he fucked up. He shouldn't have done that. And then it took a turn for the worst, because then she looks at the people behind us and just goes, I don't know why these stupid people just don't go park poorly in their own fucking country.
Oh,
the man was Indian, and so was his wife.
You had to make a racism.
As soon as she says that, I was with our coworker, and I put my head down. I was like, ooh.
Well, that's why I've been at the white guy shuffle, as in like, I'm on your side until now.
I just put my head down. I was like, oh, boy. And I was just very uncomfortable. And she's just going on and on about like how this guy is a dirty person for parking poorly and also is Indian. And I'm like,
she went on with the Indian trope. Oh, Jesus.
And I was just like, ugh.
Or Jesus. Oh, no, I did it.
So I had a moment like that a few weeks ago. I was at a GameStop in a mall, actually by your former hometown, The very, very large mall up there. The
Palisades Mall?
Palisades Mall, yes.
They have a tiny GameStop.
It was very tiny. And there was a African-American gentleman having an argument with a white guy behind the counter.
Actually, it's appropriate to say black gentleman, because then if you say
Oh,
African
for
American,
fuck's
you're
sake,
assuming
Bob,
that they're all from
continue your
Africa.
story. Shut up, Ryan.
Anyway, they were talking, well, having an argument, and it's getting more and more heated because apparently the guy couldn't give him a refund or something. I don't know what the whole issue was. I just walked in the middle of this. As the guy is walking out with security, or actually being escorted out with security, the black guy says to the white guy, suck my dick, you effing, bad word for gay people.
Bag of sticks.
Yes.
Sticks.
You bitch
Bundles.
ass N-word.
He's going to say the N-word.
Oh, boy,
Saying it to the white guy behind the counter. And the white guy behind the counter, under his breath and completely escalating the situation, just goes, nah, I'm good.
Oh, come on, that's the best reaction, though.
That's good. That's good. I was
That's
anticipating
fantastic.
that this guy was just going to say effing N-word.
Absolutely.
Like, I thought that's where you're going to go with
Oh.
it, but he just goes, nah, I'm good. That's great. That's
Here's
a
the thing.
good response.
I was with my boss, and if I wasn't, working at the time, I would have probably been like, excuse me, what did you just say? I identify as the F word. What are you trying to say to me? And just try to turn it on him and just kind of like pull the pin on the grenade and walk away.
And I just want to say for the record, when you started going off on your little tangent on whether it's African American versus black, for whatever reason, it reminded me of the Boondocks when Rocco is talking to one of the mob people, or like the main mob guy, and he's telling a joke about black people, and the mob guy keeps saying, no, call them N-word. I don't know. On the opposite side of things, for whatever reason, that's what that reminded
No, because the
me
problem
of.
the problem with saying African
I know.
American is you're
Not all
insinuating that they're
Africans
from
are-
Africa, but they're not.
Not all
Right,
black
right,
people
right,
from
right,
Africa. And
Africa.
it's one of those sort of understood societal things.
Gesundheit.
Listen, I'm just trying to
Bless
be woke
me.
right now, and you're like ruining my wokeness.
Well, go the fuck to sleep. I had I used to work a job where I would go house to house, and at one point I went to go do my job, and there was a guy.
Going door to door.
He just like I went to go inspect something, and he's just like, oh, make sure you can get to it. And I'm like, yeah, I have no issue. It's like, oh, well, the person that usually comes can't do it. And it's like, okay, whatever. So I go and I do my thing, and I come back. It's like, oh, did you make out all right? And I was like, yeah, I did fine. It's like, really? Because the other person has such an issue. I was like, oh, well, I know who your usual person is, so maybe I think she's just a little she's older than me, and so I'm younger. I'm able to. She says, really? Well, I just think she's a big N-word. And I'm like, wow. Also, fun fact, he didn't say N-word. He just filled in the sentence just in case there was any sort of clarification.
Yeesh.
Oh, my. And like,
That'd make the story so much better if he didn't call them the actual word. He just said
I'm going
N-word.
to say the N-word. No, he just flat out said the N-word. And it was a very groundbreaking moment for me because I've never really heard the
Contemplate
N-word.
saying
Such
the N-word.
raw racism out of somebody.
I can't tell if you're being condescending or not, but that's actually what I can't tell.
No,
if
no,
you're being,
no. I'm being serious. Like,
Yeah, no, it's
like
really-
it's like you seeing it online is one thing, but actually seeing in person such raw racism
It's not
or
even that.
bigotry
I have-
or something from somebody is just like, whoa.
It's not even that. Like, I have friends who have, let's say, an edgy sense of humor, and they'll say a racist joke that includes the
it's-
N-word.
I'm saying like that's like
But
in a
this
joking
was-
setting, but like no, someone who's like serious, like.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, I don't respect them because they're an N-word. That's like, whoa.
No, yeah, like this was like plantation owning, like whip wielding,
like
wife
they're
beater
still 3/5 of a
wearing-
person kind of thought process.
Oh my god!
Jim
I
Crow
couldn't-
law should come back kind of thinking.
and dude, the fire in his eyes, and he just looked at me, and I just like I just left because at the time, you're wearing a company's uniform. Maybe I was a coward in the situation, but you're wearing a company's uniform. You have to represent someone else.
No, that's honestly fair. I wouldn't call you a coward in that situation. You're wearing
Still not happy.
No,
I
you're
think I
not going to
told
be
the
happy
other one.
about it, but you are wearing a company uniform. You don't want to lose that job, and there's literally no benefit for you because the guy's going to complain that you're being unprofessional in his house.
Oh my god! I would love for him to tell the company what he said. I would love for him to explain what he said that I got pissed off.
I tried to tell your worker that you have a stupid N-word, and he defended her
right
like an N-word lover.
What a cock! Yeah, exactly. I don't even know if that was a word yet, but yeah.
You probably would have called you an N-word lover, and then your company would have either A, just been like, all right, crazy man, or B, been like, hey, don't do that.
But anyway, I don't know. I had a different cowardly moment because I was at a Volkswagen show, as I think I've established. I'm pretty sure I may have said this one too, but I was at a VW show, and really calm, cool, collected, just fun show. Very chill. If you're a car show person, sometimes there's a little more high-energy ones where they have different... burnout contests, loud noises, yeah, like some guy in the background, like, what going on? Like, just to try and keep energy going. Like, this was much more like they had a DJ, they had, like, there were different vendors with car parts and automotive shirts and memorabilia, but it was a relaxed show. But I kind of walked up on an Audi that was done to the gills. Beautiful car, minus the fact that it had a tinted window, but it had matte black stickers on the window. So, like, until you're about 5 feet from the car, you can't even tell that there's stickers on it, and one of them was the Hulk holding a swastika. And
It was the Hulk?
Yes. It was the Incredible Hulk going, ah, fuck the Jews! No, it was...
I thought you said the Hulk holding a swastika. I was like, huh?
No, it was the Hawk from the old World War II times.
I think you said the Hulk. I was like, no. What a random thing, and also inaccurate.
No, I just imagine Hulk with the fucking hat. Oh no!
That's why I was so thrown off. I was like, huh? What?
Well, thanks for making this story fun, but no, I just. And it just turns out that the owner of the car... Okay, so, like, I can respect to a degree of the whole either history or heritage sort of thing. Like, I've seen vintage Beetles with the hawk holding a Volkswagen logo, which, if someone is still offended by that, I can completely respect. But I think that's where, me personally, I can draw the line between, like... intentions of hurting versus history, per se. But... Volkswagen didn't get Audi till like 1963. Not to mention this Audi was from the early 2000s, and it was just clearly on there to be a prick. And I had an internal moment, and I found out who the owner of the car was. I didn't do anything about it, and I'm still in the, it's one of those things. I don't know. It was a relaxed show, and I could make all the excuses I wanted. I didn't say anything to the owner, but I did find some hilarity in the fact that the owner was actually missing one of his legs. And I just, like, kind of wanted to ask, like, do you realize what Hitler would have done with you? Like, you have this blessing of a prosthetic leg. Das Fuhrer would have kicked you off a goddamn cliff. Like, you are, in terms of natural selection, you are worthless. You are feeble, and he would have gotten rid of you.
You are a broken person and inferior in his eyes.
Yeah. I just couldn't believe someone, and also it turns out he wasn't even born that way. It was a motorcycle accident. Which, to me, that just brings more... the whole situation just boggles my mind. He's a popular guy, too.
That's like that Chris Rock skit.
I don't know, man.
I forgot who the comedian was. What?
I hope
he was a blind black man, and he joined the KKK, and then he realized he was black.
Yeah, but this guy just never realized. And the worst part is, like, I've seen him, and I kind of, like, found him on Facebook, and I just looked through his pictures, and he's just... Is this one of those things where...
Is he bald?
No, he's just a very MAGA sort of gentleman, and it just doesn't play into anything. Not all MAGA people are that way. I'm not trying to spark that conversation, but dear God, I just wish you didn't have to play out that way.
Pulling our money together for healthcare is evil, but pulling our money to get a wall built is A-okay.
I'm talking about, like, with his prosthetic leg, wearing American flag shorts, holding a AR-15 sort of guy. Yeah.
Well, if he's a true American, it's against the Constitution to wear the flag as any sort of article of clothing.
It is. But let's be honest here.
That's like another thing. And my favorite is people who get biblical verses as tattoos when in the Bible it's against biblical law to get tattoos. That's a good one. That's Spencer.
I don't remember that. Well, I mean, I guess it's against the Bible to get tattoos and all.
It's somewhere in the Bible. It's against the.
defacing your body.
It's something you like doing something to your body or whatever. Yeah.
Because God treated you the way you are.
So people get like crosses and stuff on their as tattoos. I'm just like.
So is war justified though? Because I mean, if you think about it, if you're in battle and combat and you get injured, your body was just defaced. I guess it's in a more of a just manner in the sense that you're fighting for something.
I think
But is it really just?
A tattoo is voluntarily. Like you're voluntarily
military, yes.
You're doing. You are like, I'm actively wanting to do this. Well, if you go to war, if you get shot, like that's not. You're not like, please shoot me.
Yeah,
you got shot.
You still actively know the possible repercussions.
I know, but you weren't asking to get shot.
You're spreading as we are learning.
You are
spreading the
victim,
word of God and
right
sacrificing yourself.
Now.
I'm victim shaming the Crusades.
People who got injured during war, you're telling them they were asking to get hurt. You are victim blaming right now, and you are part of the problem. And I'm just going to tell you right now, you're part of the problem. This bitch is
The worst part is you're not far off. I actually didn't even think of it like that as I was saying it.
Yeah, suck it. I'm better than you now because I proved you wrong. Internet.
Boom.
No, I don't actually think that way. I just want to be a dick.
You get to I mean, were you wrong? I wasn't. Dear
but
God,
no,
I feel bad. No, if anyone here, if anyone's got,
but no, I'm actually
war,
standing.
Like
I'm actually standing by the point of like you're in a victim shaming mindset of that. If you go to war, you're asking to be shot.
Yeah, fair enough. I got nothing for that. You win. I apologize. I was more trying to play into an argument that I definitely don't agree with.
And I'm better than you now.
Well, you shut me up, that's for sure. God, great way to start the new year, everybody.
Hey, guys, the podcast is going to be better. I shut Spencer up.
Fuck you.
Oh, Lordy.
Well, we hit all my 3 topics, and you assholes got something else?
I've been... Bob, you got anything? I'll let you go to this next one.
No, Bob, you're good. Go for it.
New year, cool. New podcast. You can talk this time.
I'm allowed?
You're allowed, Bob.
What is this feeling?
This time is yours. All right, Brian. So
no, I've been jumping from my game to game recently, and one I've been enjoying a lot recently. 2 games I'm enjoying a lot recently. You are very upset right now.
I am so upset because you totally got me. Like, check fucking me. I totally victim shamed fucking veterans. God damn it. I didn't even mean to come off like that.
Yeah. So when you want to send your hate mail, remember, direct it towards Spencer, because I'm a good boy.
Let's fucking face it. Who else would it be directed towards? What have you guys said that would have gotten you in trouble at this point? Exactly!
Bob talked about his magical penis once.
Yeah, but that's magical. We're not talking about...
Fun fact, I told my girlfriend's father about that story.
Did he want to see your magical penis? Did you just start a new weird relationship with your girlfriend's father?
I have questions.
Okay.
How did you get on this topic?
So...
Hi, I am your girlfriend's father. Hi, I'm Bob. I have a magical penis.
Well, I respect that.
That's why my daughter likes
I respect that.
we were watching the Sixers game the other night, and I'm like, oh, did I tell you about the time I ran into Joel Embiid? And she goes, oh, yeah, you told me about that. Her father goes, wait, you met Embiid? What? You got to tell me the story. And my girlfriend just starts laughing. He goes, why? I'm like, well, and I tell the story how...
Really? And, without, no hesitation at all? He just went right into it?
Yeah, I just went into it. I'm like, look, I was...
That's why your penis is magical. Like, some other penises would hesitate, but you just went right in. Good for you.
The way I told it to, I'm just like, well, I had to pee, so I was peeing in an alleyway. Oh, Embiid walks by, we turn, we lock eyes.
Philly moment.
And she goes, yeah, you have a... And I'm like, yeah, the next day, he goes, oh, well, he had a triple-double. And she goes... Yeah.
Triple double these nuts!
She goes, yeah, he's got a magical penis. And her father didn't hear what she said at all, which made it even better.
So does he know that you have a magical penis or not?
I don't know.
Okay, so he doesn't know that you have a magical penis.
But my girlfriend did say
news.
it in front of her father, so...
Fake news.
What was the father's reaction? Was it like a retail laugh, like a ha-ha? Or was it like a genuine...
He's like, oh, man, that's pretty cool.
Really?
About seeing Embiid in an alleyway and
Bob
during the Eagles.
So you have a cool penis.
So he ignored the whole penis part.
I don't think he heard the penis part.
Maybe he didn't put 2 and 2 together.
Well, maybe he didn't put 2 and 2 together.
2 and together is nuts.
You were waiting. You were waiting for that. You were waiting for me to
making-
repeat the live studio attendees' words just so you can make that goddamn joke.
Just making crappy jokes. That's all I'm doing.
Well, keep it up. New Year, same Brian.
So what games have you been playing, Brian?
I've been playing 3 consistently right now. One of them is Near Autonoma, which is a lot of fun.
It's not that close to Autonoma.
It's close though. It's near.
It's getting there.
It's far manual Autonoma. No, Nier Automata is like a hack and slash bullet hell shooter. Weirdly enough, I don't know how to describe it.
Bullet hell shooter. So it's Doom.
No.
Well,
it's a hack and slash, but you also have points where you go into a bullet hell.
Doom had melee weapons. Your foot.
That's a kick. It's not a melee weapon.
What's
that's a kick.
Bullet hell?
A bullet hell. Undertale is technically a bullet hell.
Oh, where it's just kind of like Galaga.
Like, you ever play Ikaruga? It's a very famous game.
I've never heard of it before.
So bullet hell is essentially like, say you have a ship and it's at the bottom of the screen and there's like a bunch of bullets coming at you. You have to like dodge a bunch of them.
Galaga.
Galaga's a little slower paced than actual bullet hell. Bullet hell is like
Galaga's bullet hell. Purgatory.
Bullet hell is like 90% of the screen is bullets, and you're dodging all of them.
Yeah, it sounds like fun.
Galaga's more of a shmup, which is a shoot 'em up.
A shmup.
Yeah, shoot 'em up.
Galaga's not a shoot 'em up. Would be like the team. Well, no, it's beat 'em up.
That's a beat 'em up. A shoot 'em up would be Galaga, where you shoot.
So is that a bup? Beat 'em up? A be up?
Beat 'em up.
Yeah, be up.
Bup.
You got a shmup and a be up.
Shmups. Shmups is the short.
Or is it beat them or beat 'em up?
Beat 'em up.
Be up. Cool.
Yep.
Works.
Beautiful.
Fantastic. There you go, Internet. That one's for you.
So that's one of them I've been playing, and it's really fun. All of them are robots, just weird. And but it's a pretty fun game. I'm very early in it, so I don't know the whole like spiel yet.
Why are you a human facing the robots?
No, I'm one of the robots. My robot name is 2B. I'm 2B.
Or not to be.
That's
the question.
That's the joke everyone does for it. They name their file name 2B or not to be.
Way to go, you fucking casual.
I have a partner android called 9S. And
9S what?
Get out. 9S is my partner, and I have like another robot. But we're both like android because we look like real people, but we're both androids, and I have an actual robot partner. So that's one game I'm playing right now. I'm very early into it, so I don't know much about it. Funny enough, another game I'm playing with robots is Detroit Become Human that I got for Christmas.
Dude, that game's fucked. I love it.
That game is a lot of fun. You play 3 different androids, and you're in Detroit, obviously. But there's this whole stories about like because all the androids are like servants to the people.
Right.
But there's cases of androids becoming deviant, they call it, and they're kind of acting on their own. So they start gaining human emotions, and then they want their own rights and freedoms. Like one of the robots is a freedom fighter. One of them is trying to become like a mother to a child because the father was an abusive piece of crap. And one of them is like one that hasn't gone deviant yet. I don't know if he does go deviant, but I'm gonna guess he yet. But he's like strict to his programming about how he's this cop's assistant.
Is that the one of the demo? Oh no,
yeah, that's the one you play in the demo. He's the cop assistant. That's Connor.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. So he is the like cop assistant, and he's like by the books and everything.
Played the demo at PAX.
I did too. I really liked it, and I wanted to buy the game, and I just kept forgetting about it, and I got it during Christmas time.
Was it on sale?
No, my parents got it for me.
Oh, even how did they know?
I told them.
Got it.
But it's a lot of fun.
All the mystery.
It's a lot of fun. I like it a lot. I'm a big chunk through the story because there's a lot of branching paths because there's a lot of different stuff you can do, stuff you can not do, and it all leads to like characters dying, characters living, different things happening, meeting different people, not meeting those people. And you could see like how many people of the world did what you did or what you didn't do.
Right.
So, like, this one mission where you're running away with the girl and you're, like, the female android who wants to be a mother. And you can either, like, sleep in a car, sleep in a motel, or sleep in an abandoned house.
Right.
But, like, motel obviously is the one you want to pick. But if you want to sleep in the motel, you have to, like, rob a convenience store and steal someone's clothes from a laundromat. Because a motel doesn't serve androids. And all the androids have specific android clothing that says, like, they're an android. well, there's like an abandoned house, but it's sketchy, and the girl you're with really doesn't want to sleep in there, or you can sleep in the car, which is like obviously the least comfortable, but no one's going to bother you. It's like an abandoned car. So it's like, the fuck was my point of all this again? Yeah, so there's like, I pick the car, and it says like 33% of the people in the world picked the car, X amount of people picked, like the house,
That's
and
pretty
then X
cool.
amount of people picked the motel, and you can see that, or you can see like between like the world, whoever's on your friend list and stuff like that.
Are
And
there like
there
more secret areas that like only 1 or 2% of the world might pick or something?
I picked something that only like 1% of the world like did.
Really?
Yeah, because the whole point of it is that different branching storylines that you do leads to you doing different stuff down the road. So
Right.
like if you pick the car, only certain events happen if you pick the car. So it's like
Sure.
1% of the worlds did this. So like say there's 3 branching points, like motel, car, house.
Yes.
And then from those 3 branching points, there's another 3 on top of those that you can do. And it starts breaking down. It breaks down more and more and more. So where you can get to the point where like only like 3 or 4% of the world did your thing because they break out so much.
Right.
So it all, so the things don't tell you, like once you pick an option, it doesn't tell you, all right, it gives you the 100% of that. It still goes, it's like, I'm trying to explain. So 100% start at point 1, and when
No,
you get
I gotcha.
and then you go to point 1A, and then you get to point like 1B, which is the 3 branching points of another thing. It doesn't restart at 100% of explaining what it is. It's then still breaking down like 1% of the people went down the exact same path you did.
I mean, at a very simplified point, it's really just if you remember the old Goosebump books when you were a kid, like the
You choose your own adventure kind
exactly.
Yeah.
It's really that, but just imagine being able to see what your other classmates also chose if they did the same book.
So it
Are you
doesn't-
playing with a goddamn cat laser while we're podcasting?
So
Are you that bored?
so what I'm so
I'll
I guess
crash something for you if you're bored. Like we can make something fail, so you actually need to work. It's
I'll
cool.
pour this beer in your laptop.
There we go.
So I guess what I'm trying to say exactly is that it doesn't show you another 100% of the people from the 33% that picked your thing.
Right.
It'll still break it down to those 3 options will add up to the 33% that picked your option. Is what I was trying to say.
Ah.
But yeah, so it's really cool. And if you do something wrong, you have to live with that choice. Like that's like you did something wrong. You don't restart that chapter. So if you get caught by the police, or you let someone die, or you forget to like pick up a book that has like secrets to a crime case or whatever, they're done. Like that's done. You have to live with that choice.
So it's just kind of funny that you're talking about this way. So I'm trying to figure out how I got pegged into victim shaming veterans. Because like I'm trying to think for a second. Like
Spencer got pegged? What?
no,
Hey man,
Brian
don't
got me.
don't kink shame.
Whatever
He's into.
You asshole! I'm giving
This
you
should happen in modern
credit.
day. Would you be in favor of equal rights for
Equal
androids?
whites.
Equal
I
whites.
want equal whites. Now who's the one that's racist?
Equal rights.
Equal whites.
That's actually funny enough. That is one of the big points of the game. Is that equal rights?
Oh, okay. Actually, what if he had a lisp and now we're assholes?
Shit.
Oh no, that's not a lisp. That's a speech impediment.
If anyone's a speech impediment here, it's Bob.
Really? I was gonna say me.
Why?
You flub your words all the time.
Shut up.
I was also gonna say me, just because, dude, I
And
listen
I'm
to
the one
myself.
who's a professional radio broadcaster.
So the
Do I
question
have a-
was, in modern day, would you be in favor of equal rights for androids?
No.
No. Not. I mean,
They're fucking computers.
also, are we talking about the cell phones?
No. Like android people.
We didn't specify.
Oh my god, you fucking baby. Android people. Like artificially created life.
No, they don't have. They're not real
not people.
They're not alive.
I feel like if they develop their own thoughts and feelings, yes, I think they could get to the point where they have their own equal rights.
Maybe
I think
I think that would
it'll
be
take time.
terrifying.
It'll take time. I mean, that's if we get to that point. But if they get to there, I'd rather give them equal rights than have them just overtake everything.
I feel like that would happen. Don't get me wrong. I feel like that we would get to. I feel if androids really came to it, got to the point where they had their own feelings and understood the human psyche, that they would project, or I don't know if it's pander or project or whatever, but they would market themselves as having feelings just to get under us just to get into like our nitty gritty and then kill us from the way out. Because at that point, if they have the means to feel and to produce and take care of themselves, they don't need us.
Which is funny because one of the things that happens in the game is that when you go back to the main menu, whenever randomly the android on the main menu will be like, "Oh, we have a survey from CyberLife," which is the company in the game that makes the androids. They say like they have a survey they want you to answer, and it's 10 questions, and some of the questions are like,
everyone's favorite drunk uncle's calling.
Yeah, I'll get to it afterwards.
Oh boy,
put him on. I actually missed his call, so.
Hi, Kyle.
Hello, children. Are we live?
Yeah, we
are
are
live. How are you, sir?
Near the end of the episode, but we're live.
Okay, I was happy to talk to you guys either way. See, I'm a man of the people. Whether I'm on your podcast or not, I'm still happy to check in.
Kyle Sipe, 2020.
Yeah, right? Full Slice Podcast, iTunes, everybody.
Yeah, shameless plugs. That's cool.
Listen, if anyone needs plugs in their podcast, it's ours and yours, buddy.
Don't tell him. He said that we're better than you.
We heard you.
How are you, my friend? How was your New Year?
Oh, it was really good. We got a creepy Airbnb, and I was in bed by 10:30, exactly how I wanted it to go.
Right before your balls drop? What the hell happened?
Got really drunk at a really nice restaurant with my girlfriend, the way that we wanted it to be, and went back to the Airbnb. It was this cool town, like north of Easton, where like nobody's seen an iPhone, you know.
Weston?
No, north of East. Yes, is that Southton? Where's north of Easton? Also, what's state?
Northeastern.
That was a really good joke, Bill Cosby. When does your record come out?
It depends. I'm still in trial.
Guy. You know, I would have hoped one of your resolutions would have been a little bit more sharp. It's where the Crayola Crayon Factory is. You know where Easton is, right? Everybody's been there.
I know the Crayola Crayon. Stop playing with the goddamn cat laser! I'm sorry, we're dealing with Bob being bored on the podcast playing with the cat laser.
Oh my god.
Yeah, apparently.
Has it gotten that bad?
Apparently so. And the funny thing is, like, our new resolution was like to let Bob talk more, not talk over him, and here he is playing with the goddamn cat laser.
The resolution should have been to maybe do like an ounce of show prep so that "Don't touch the cat laser" doesn't get screamed out during the middle of the
know, you think that there's just some understood things when you go into it. We started doing show prep.
See, Bob and I are like radio people, so we know not to scream these things during it, but Spencer just does it anyway.
Because I'm real.
You just cemented your reputation by saying "quote unquote" radio people. If you were radio people, the fucking laser wouldn't even be near you.
The best part is
That's why I'm a real radio. That's why I'm the real radio person here, and Bob sucks, and Spencer's an idiot.
I'm the real radio person.
That's a step above saying I'm a real radio person. I eat my cheese doodles and lick my fingers in between breaks.
No, you wait to the end to get the maximum cheese taste.
Cheese overdrive.
And then you lick the buttons.
I just wanted to tell you guys I'm going to be featured on a podcast tomorrow called the All Things Guy Network Podcast.
That podcast name is a mouthful.
It's a good. I mean, if you want to say it's a mouthful after saying the All Things Guy podcast, then you go right ahead.
I know what I said.
What they're doing, they're featuring 10. They got sponsors of 10 different hot sauce companies, starting from mild to like devil's asshole heat.
My favorite.
They have 3 contestants, and every time you get a question right, you don't have to eat the wing, but the 2 people that get it wrong have to eat the hot wing. And the person with the most wings in front of them at the end of the game wins. Like the person that gets the most questions right wins.
I'm about to say, can you just do wing suicide where you just guzzle all the wings anyway, just right off the bat, and just be like,
fuck the wings, just chug the hot sauce.
I was going to do that at the end, but I didn't know if I wanted to do that just to prove a point, like, this is what you had to do when you lost, but I'm just going to do it for fun. That's like
rub it right in their
person
face.
Pays their taxes, you know.
When does that? Are they guys doing that live?
Yeah, it's going to be live on Facebook tomorrow. All Things Guys podcast, All Things Guy Talk, I think it's called. I'm not really sure. I really should know a little bit better. But
are they local to the area?
Man, it's like you should have done show prep or something.
God, what's wrong with you?
Oh yeah. Oh, were you just trying to throw me a little trash there for me not show prepping a show that's not mine? You fuck.
You called. You knew what you were doing.
Yeah, you knew you wanted to mention this before you called.
I was a last-minute entry there, Brian Notre Dame Kelly.
That's true. We had a lot of people lined up, and we just kind of were able to pencil in some time for you. So that's fair. That's fair. Be honored.
Well, Well, that's good. I had an idea for you guys. I just purchased a box of alcohol from the 50s. It's unopened.
Ooh.
A box of what kind of alcohol?
Do you guys know Scotch at all? Let me see what's in here. We got Glenlivet, Glenfiddich.
Glenfiddich, yes.
I know a lot of Glens.
I got a bottle here. Oh shit! I almost dropped it.
You said Keesby?
Crown Royal from 1959.
Ooh.
Does it still have the? Does it still come in the sack? Does the Crown Royal? Does it still come in the purple sack?
Yes, it does.
Is it as cold as the Cold War?
In there, like Ebenezer Scrooge. But anyway, what I wanted to see was if you guys would be interested in maybe taste testing some of these alcohols that are over 50, 60, almost 70 years old, some of them.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm in.
I'll bring a bottle over and we'll, taste it and do like a legitimate tasting and see what's going on. I bought this box. I paid, a good amount of money for this box. There's about 9 bottles in there. And I said, you know what? This is alcohol that me and my poor friends will never get the chance to have ever again. So let's just enjoy it.
That was almost a nice thing. Thank you.
I know, it almost was.
He humble bragged all over us.
Well, I just wanted to wish you guys another year of success. I like your show. I love the structure. We don't care, but we really do. Put down the laser structure. And I can't wait to, collab with you guys again. And I'll bring over a bottle and we'll, toast it and set off the new year right.
Cheers, sir. Let's do it soon.
All right, guys. You have a good new year, and thanks for letting me intrude.
You too,
As
my
always.
friend. From Shibby to Full Slice. Happy New Year to you.
All right, take care, gentlemen.
You too.
Take care, sir. Bye. Always
a good
fun
time.
here.
Always a good time to get the call from the drunk uncle. So just to quickly wrap up my point, because I know we're getting close to time here. So they ask you questions when you go back to the main menu, and they'll ask you questions like, would you ever be in a relationship with an android? Would you ever accept them as equal humans? Do you think they're going to overthrow the human race one day?
Do you want to get really dark with this one? Fucked up dark, or should we talk after the podcast dark?
Why not? Go for it.
Okay, so there's been I actually had this conversation with one friend about pedophilia per se. When it comes down to it, would you be comfortable? You asked.
Everyone, please call Chris Hansen now.
Fuck you. I purely.
We're already at a table. He doesn't have to tell him to take a seat. He's already taken a seat.
I already have a seat. I'm not admitting to anything.
Here he comes down the stairs. Chris Hansen's right there. You know what? Why don't we wait for another day on that one then?
Oh, come on. We just started.
Spencer really wants to talk pedophilia, guys.
I'm just curious, would you be comfortable if there were certain dolls produced for people to relieve themselves with rather than actual children?
What?
I had this conversation with a friend.
No.
All right, so we all know what guys, when I want to know what I learned today, this is what Spencer talks about with his friends, apparently.
I think it's a very interesting conversation to be had. I mean, imagine you have something where a potential child doesn't have their life ruined forever, and someone that's born with I'm going to call it an illness, is able to get the rocks off without harming someone else.
I'd actually be on the side of that because I always feel ashamed whenever I have to, but I have to remind people that if it's child porn of a child that doesn't exist, it is actually legal because there is no one who is a victim of the act. So,
and at the
same
time,
something we learned in common law in school that child pornography of children that don't exist. So if it's an so if it's a CGI child or an animated child, whatever it is.
Damn, we're starting the year off strong.
That is actually legal because there is no child to protect. There is no victim. So it's actually legal. Messed up? Yes. Immoral?
Absolutely.
Yes. Unethical? Yes. Illegal? No.
But
it's just how it is. That's just how it is. It's unfortunate we have people in this world that want to do that with children, but I don't know. But actually, you know what? Because the problem is, I'd be like, yes, I want them to relieve that urge without actually harming an actual child. But I know from a lot of experience not experience. Rewind that. Experience of talking to other people.
Now who needs Chris Hansen?
I know when talking to other people for certain things when they're like, I've done this so much, I want to experience it with a real person. And I know that if somebody does this with an artificial child, they're going to be like, I'm sick of this. I want to do it with an actual one. And that'll actually might even drive it more than it would have been before, because then they don't know what it was like.
If with this inanimate object is already this good, then how good would it be with the real thing? No, that was my counter argument. Ultimately, there's a lot of hotlines for a lot of different issues. I wish it was more I wish there was the hotline where someone who has these urges can go and call before things escalate. I'm sure they're out there, but
But in reality, who would want to call somewhere and be like, listen, I have the urge, I want to do things with a child?
Someone that wants help before they ruin their life and someone else's.
But you're also openly admitting to that.
But you're admitting to something you didn't do. You're admitting to saying, I have a problem and I want help before
I know, but you of all people should know that it's really hard to admit that you need help.
Yes.
To publicly announce that you need help.
Well, it's not. I'm not talking about, why would it be public?
Because you're saying to somebody that's public enough, you're letting another person know that there is a problem with you, and you are asking for help, and it's hard to be vulnerable for a lot of people. And I can only imagine, not even I can only imagine, but like somebody openly admitting to another person that they have the urge so badly to do something with the child that they need to tell somebody else so that they don't do it. That's a lot for somebody to do.
That's fair. That's fair. But at least if it could help eliminate or help even a small percentage of whoever feels this way.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't have that. We shouldn't have a number for someone to call. I'm just saying I can't imagine many people jumping at the opportunity to.
No.
We have suicide hotlines, but not many people are like jumping for joy to call a suicide hotline.
Well, no one's jumping for joy to call a suicide.
Poor choice of words. Nobody's looking forward to calling a suicide hotline.
Do you make the joke? I think
you're not jumping for joy. They're jumping for the news.
Yes, said it. See, I think I've had enough controversial talk tonight.
Bob, what'd you learn today?
Fuck. Happy 2019, everybody.
Starting
the year off strong.
I learned that you're going to let me talk a little bit more this year. So, yay.
I learned that you guys would not be for Android rights. I thought maybe, I was like, Spencer, probably not. I thought you would have been.
Really?
Mm-hmm. But you're not. I'm not saying like, wow, you bad person. I'm just like, oh, all right. I thought you would have.
I learned, I guess
scumbag.
I guess I already knew that arguments are a lot like a chess game, where it's sort of like what moves you play and how to get checkmate, but I don't know, tonight I was just like checkmated so hard with the last conversation about I can't get over the victim shaming thing. Stop it with the fucking laser. I can see it. I'm
literally just fiddling with it. I apologize.
Whatever. But I just like, I was playing it because like I'm thinking about like the puritanical Christian who doesn't want the human body to be altered in any way, shape, or form. And then I changed it to altered in war, and then boom, right back at what about the people that it didn't happen to on purpose? Like that was, dude, well played, sir.
This is why people should have conversations and not just scream brie at each other over the internet.
Back to my original conversation about why we should actually have conversations about the ma'am guy. Sorta.
It's ma'am! Bob, read us out.
And
well, you've been listening to Shootin' Shibby. Don't forget you can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/ShibbyShackOfficial. Also check us out on Instagram at ShibbyShackOfficial and Twitter at Shibby Shibby_Shack. I forget what it is. We're on Twitter. Look for us on Twitter. I have no idea.
Go find us, assholes.
Yeah, look for us. We have like 5 followers. We're
2019 starting off like 2018.
We're on iTunes. Like us, give us 5 stars, review us, shoot us an email at shibbyshackofficial@gmail.com. Let us know what you think. We're also on Spotify, Google Play Music, Player.fm, TuneIn Radio, as well as shootintheshibby.podbean.com. Special thanks to Bethany at Crafter's Quest for making our awesome graphics that you see on the screen, as well as DJ Quads with the phenomenal music that we play as our intro and outro music, as well as our pre-game or pre-show music and whatnot. Also, make sure to subscribe to our Twitch channel, or follow us, whatever it is that's free, or pay us if you want. I have no idea. Twitch.tv/Shibby_Shack.
Follow us for free. Subscribe for a few bucks. We get a little kickback. That's how that one works.
Hey, take us to IHOP one day.
Take us to IHOP. In fact, you know what? Forget about subscriptions. Reach out to us via email, and I'll let strangers take us to IHOP.
Send us IHOP gift cards.
Ooh, that would be
That's
fun.
probably a lot safer. Send us IHOP gift cards.
Every now and then, Spencer, Brian, and I will stream, as well as the live studio attendee. And a few other people will jump on our Twitch account as well to stream a game. I believe we're going to be streaming after this.
I mean, I'm down.
I think we also might be doing some co-op games, you and me.
Oh, we're starting.
I think we might.
Oh, we're starting. I'm getting that very confident head nod.
We are going to be starting A Way Out, which I'm very excited to play. Spencer and I get to be idiots trying to break out of prison.
I get to be myself.
Hey, same.
Neato.
But every now and then, we'll play games and everything like that. We broadcast live on Twitch every single Monday night. And then every Tuesday around 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Eastern is when the newest episode of Shootin' the Shibby is released everywhere you can find a podcast. So, for one final time, for Spencer...
Should I just dox myself and get it over with?
You might as well. And for Brian...
Sorry, I was waiting to end the podcast. I forgot I have to do this part.
Yep. I'm Bob. Thank you so much for listening to Shootin' the Shibby. We'll be back next week.
Starting the year off strong.
I like you.